Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'd like to share with you how to crochet this beautiful lace edging. It's done in a size 10 crochet cotton and I've used a size 1.5mm hook. This is from a vintage pattern. I have a picture here and I chose to do this little one, this lace edging. It intrigued me how they got this frill along the edge. Anyway, we're going to have a go at doing that together today and let's get started. So to begin, we need to do a slip knot. And then pull that little slip knot nice and tight and then bring your work up, the knot up to the loop, to the hook. And then do 12 chains. 1, 2, 3. I'll just zoom in slightly. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And now to make a ring, we need to join in our first single crochet, which is just here. So if you just insert your hook just in the top there, pull your work round and hide this little tail. We're going to work over that. We're trying to make as small a bump as possible, and then pull your yarn through, doing a slip stitch. There we go. And now you've got your 12 chain ring. Tucking that little thread behind, do 1 chain and then do 20 single crochets into the ring. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course in the UK single crochets are known as double crochets. And you try and keep these as close as you can together and as neat as you can, continuing to crochet over the tail end, then you don't have to weave it in. And then as I said, it's a total of 20 single crochets over this ring. Crocheting over that tail. When you're working with thread, it's quite nice to just pinch your work to secure it if you can. And try and keep a nice even tension. And we must be around 20 now. Let's just count these. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. That is our first one. So another 2. You might need to just nudge them round a little, the stitches over the chain, right? that's now 20. Pop that little tail at the back. You can see here the two little legs of your first single crochet. Insert your hook under the top two loops, yarn over, pull through and pull through again, and now you've completed the ring. It's a good idea at this stage to just snip that little tail so it doesn't get in the way. I thought for a moment I'd not brought the scissors, but here they are. Right, so we just snip as close to the work as you can. And now we're ready to do our 5 chain loops. Now the pattern says just do 3 chains to start, but I like to start with 1 chain and a little single crochet in there. And then 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and skip 1 stitch. If you look, you've just made a stitch in there, your single crochet. Skip the next stitch, and into the next stitch do a single crochet. So chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, skip the next stitch, into the next one a single, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip the next one and single crochet into the next stitch. One, 2, 3, skip a stitch into the next stitch. Sometimes it can be a little bit fiddly, but there we go. And now I think we've done 4 there. That's how it should be looking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 chain loops. And for our final one, 1, 2, 3, and again skip a stitch and into the next one, single crochet. Now if it's really tight, you can sometimes just push your hook down a little further to widen that little space. Pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and there we've completed this row. And that's how it's looking now. So you've got your little 12 chain loop or ring with your 20 single crochets, and then your 5 3 chain loops with single crochets in between. And if we look at the pattern, well, a look at the work, I think it helps to sometimes see where you're up to. So this little ring here is just this one, and then you've made those 5 chain loops. So what we're going to do now next is make these cluster stitches into our 5 chain loops for the next row. Okay, so I will meet you in a few seconds and we will do those cluster stitches. I'd just like to clarify, when I said 5 chain loops, I literally meant there are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops, but they're actually 3 chains in size. Okay, so for the next round, we're going to turn our work and slip stitch into that first loop. Now chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the clusters are double treble clusters. So yarn over 3 times, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, leaving 2 loops on the hook. Then yarn over 3 times again into the same space, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, then work off those stitches 2 at a time. So by that I mean yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 again, and then you have 3 loops on your hook. And again, one more, yarn over 3 times, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and I say pull through, I mean pull through 2, and now you'll have 4 loops on your hook. Then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on the hook. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going to do a cluster in the next 3 chain loop. Yarn over 3 times, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and so on, completing, leaving 2 loops on the hook, and then yarn over 3 times, working off those stitches again until you have 3 loops. Yarn over 3 times, and then the final 2 there, we have made 3 so far. We need to do 4. 1, 2, 3, and now we've got a total of 5 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all the loops, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn over 3 times again. If you're struggling, just secure it with your finger, and then find that next space, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, leaving 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over 3 times, insert into that space, yarn over, pull through, and again work off 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and again yarn over 3 times, and now you've done 3 and you have 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over 3 times into the same space again, and then yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, another 2, and another 2, and there you have 4 stitches, and then yarn over, pull through all the loops, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you make another cluster of your double trebles. As you can see, this is how it's looking. So yarn over 3 times to the next space. Try to ease it so you're on the right hand side of the space, and then work off 2 stitches at a time, 2 loops at a time, leaving 2 on the hook. Yarn over 3 times again, insert. I tend to aim just to the side of that little stitch we've just made. And pinching the work really does help when I'm doing thread work. And there we've done 3. And of course you don't have to pinch the work as I pinch it, because a lot of people use their middle finger and thumb. I was taught to use my index finger and thumb. That's the reason I do, but I do fluctuate between the two sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that loop that was on your hook to start. So yarn over, pull through all 5 loops, and then chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over 3 times. And then find that next, well, it's the last loop now. Insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and leave 2 on the hook. Yarn over 3 times again. Insert, yarn over, pull through 2, working those stitches off 2 at a time, leaving the loop, the last loop on the hook. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. We have 3, but we need 4. 1, 2, 3 yarn overs. Insert for the last one, and over, pull through 2, and so on. And now we've got our 5 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. And there you've completed your clusters for this row. Okay, so now for the next row, we need to do some single crochets into each of these 5 chain spaces. So first of all, just turn your work and do a slip stitch in there, and then go ahead and do 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then skip straight over the cluster stitch and do another 5 in the next space. 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is how it's looking now. And again, the next space, 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the last 5 chain space, another 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's almost completed this row. Then just into the top of this cluster stitch, pop one more single crochet. So you'll have a total of 21 single crochets in this row. I didn't mention the UK equivalent for this double treble stitch here. In the UK, that would be known as the triple treble stitch. Okay, that's how it's looking. Okay, so let's just have a peep at the actual one, that the little swatch I've made. And you can now see, turn it round the right way, we've completed the little circle, the clusters and the single crochets here. So on the next round we're going to be doing some double crochets, which are known as trebles in the UK, and we're going to make some little spaces along here. Okay, so we might as well get started. So before we start the next row, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn your work, and now we're going to do a double crochet, which in the UK is a treble. We're going to skip a stitch. Don't forget this chain, the chains represent a stitch for this single crochet here. Skip a single crochet into the next single crochet, do a double crochet, then chain 1. I'll just make sure it is chain 1. No, it's chain 2. Chain 2, I thought that might be right, because our 3 chains represent the double crochet and 2 the space. Okay, yarn over, skip a single crochet into the next single crochet, a double, and it's like this all the way along this row. So chain 2, 1, 2, and then skip a stitch. Skip this next stitch and into the next one, a double crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2, and skip a stitch into the next one, double crochet. Oops, we need to make sure we go under both loops. Chain 2, 1, 2, and then skip the next one into the next single crochet, a double, and you do this all the way across. There we go. Okay, so I'll meet you when you reach the end here. This is how it's looking. Okay, so you do your final double crochet into the last single crochet, and that gives you 10 spaces for this row, and that's how it's looking. So we'll have a look now again at the actual sample that I did, or swatch, and you can see here, this is where we've made the little spaces, and then we're going to start our next row. This is the back of the work, and as you can see here, this is the front. Now I think the next row is a row of single crochets again. I shall just have a little peep at the pattern I translated. Right, so chain 1, turn 2 single crochets in the next space, single crochet in the next, double crochet. Right, so off we go. So chain 1, turn, single crochet, just waiting for it to focus, 1, 2, and then into your next stitch, which is the double crochet, a single crochet. Now, because you're on the back of the work, it might look a bit difficult and you might not know, if you're quite new to crochet, how to identify just where to go into the top of this double crochet with it being thread work. If you look at the top of the stitches, there's a little piece of thread just to the left of the top and underneath the top 2 loops, and that's where you go to pop your next stitch. Because unlike when the work is facing you, the top of the stitch is to the right. When you reverse your work, the top of the stitch is just to the left there. So if you pop your hook in there, you can see you've actually gone under sorry, wait for the focus there, for the top 2 loops. So yarn over and complete your single crochet. I don't know if I said double crochets here, single crochets, double crochets in the UK. So 2 more in each space, 1, 2, and then into the top of the next double crochet, a single. This may seem quite slow for more advanced crocheters. All I'd say is please just whiz through if needed, and for those who are wanting to really learn a little slower, then it's easier if I go at a slower pace, I should say. Right, into there. And sometimes I like to share things that help me, and they may not necessarily help anybody else, but who knows, even if it just helps one person, that's great. Aiming for just there. Pull through. And then another 2. So I decided to do this a little slower, this video, because it is quite an intricate little pattern. And as you know, we're all in a stricter lockdown again, and being creative is so helpful, whatever form of creativity we do. And learning something new, I always find, is very helpful for me. I like to keep my mind occupied by doing something creative, and also sharing. I really enjoy sharing stuff. So there we go. In my previous job I did, we used the 5 ways to well-being, and the most important of those were learning something new, continued learning basically, and also giving. So those were 2 of the 5, and I'll get back to you on the other 3. I know one was being active. being active, giving, learning, continue learning. There we go. So we've now got our single crochets completed and we're ready to do the final round. So once you've completed the single crochets, you should have a total of 30 across the row. And for the next row, we first of all chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn your work, and now we're going to do a 5 double crochet popcorn stitch into the next stitch. So for the double crochet, it's a treble in UK terminology. Yarn over once, in the next stitch insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you do a total of 5 double crochets in the same stitch. 3, 4, and 5. Then just pull up a loop slightly, and then in your very first double crochet, which is just here, let's just make sure we can zoom in properly here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see here, this is the top of your first double crochet. Pop the loop back on your hook and then just pull. You can either anchor it that way or that way and just pull it through. And that's how you make a popcorn stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip a stitch and make another 5 double crochet popcorn stitch. So skip a stitch in the next stitch, work 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pull up a loop, just a slight loop, find your first double crochet, which is just here, go under the top 2 loops, pop the loop back on your hook and pull it through, just like a little slip stitch, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and once more, yarn over, skip a stitch into the next stitch, another 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull up a slight loop, find your first double crochet just here and insert your hook in the top of the stitch, pop the loop back on, tighten it, and then pull it through and do a slip stitch. There we go. And that's how you do the 5 double crochet popcorn stitch. And for those of you who are not familiar with the popcorn stitch, it's really just a variation of a cluster cum bobble, apart from the fact that it has this little protrusion sticking out on the top. So what you need to do now is, between the popcorn stitches, chain 3 and go into every other stitch with a 5 double crochet popcorn stitch. So it will end up looking like this. Right, I'll do just one more and then I'll leave you to get on with completing this row. So we've already chained 1, 2, 3, and now yarn over once, skip a stitch into the next stitch, a double crochet, and in the UK terminology that's a treble. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just pull through the loop slightly, or up a loop slightly I should say. Find your very first double crochet, insert your hook, pop the loop back on your hook and pull it through like a little slip stitch. I think I said before when I did a chain it was a slip stitch. This is a chain. So 1, 2, 3 chains between each popcorn stitch. And just one more, skip a stitch, 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just pull up that loop a little, find your first double crochet you made and insert your hook underneath the top 2 loops of the stitch, slip your loop back on your hook, tighten the tension again and pull it through, slip that little stitch through there, that loop through, to close the popcorn stitch. Then yarn over and chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So hope that's clear. That's how your popcorn stitches should be looking. So you're doing your popcorn stitch, skipping a stitch, popcorn stitch, chaining 3, popcorn stitch, skip a stitch, chaining 3, popcorn stitch, etc. And you do that all the way to the end of the row. And you should end up with 15 popcorn stitches. Okay, so I will see you when you reach the end of this row. So once you've completed the 15 popcorn stitches, this is how it will look. And now we're going to start the whole process again, making a little chain loop and doing some single crochets. just about here, but to get there we need to do some little loops, and to do that we just turn our work chain 3, because there'll be 3 chain loops, and then in this next space between the first 2 popcorn stitches pop a single crochet, a double crochet in the UK, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, between the next 2 popcorn stitches in the next space, a single crochet, chain 3, again a single crochet in the next space. We need to do this a total of 7 times, so we have 7 loops. So 1, 2, 3. Sneaky feeling that's possibly 6 now, so let's just check. So that's our first. Let's just have a little peep here. There it is, it's a little twisted. I thought it was. It's easy to miss that, and it doesn't say on the pattern to do anything other than a 3 chain loop there. I'd gone in between the single crochet, so just be careful you don't miss that loop. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 5. So 1, 2, 3, and then in the next space a single crochet, chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and a single crochet. Just check that it's definitely 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 7 3 chain loops. And what we need to do now is I'm sure it is 10 chains. If you remember with our initial little circle here, ring, we did 12, but now we're going to do just 12. 10 I should say, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chains, and then into the next space between those popcorn stitches a single crochet. What you've done now is made the start of your next round. We're going to do turn the work, and straight into this loop we are going to make a total of 15 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and I will meet you once you've made the 15. So there are 15 single crochets over that 10 chain loop, and into the next space, which is just there, pop a single crochet. Turn your work, slip stitch into that single crochet, and then do 1 single crochet in the next single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip a single crochet, and into the next single crochet do a single, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and again skip a stitch, into the next stitch a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip a stitch, single crochet into the next single crochet, and there you're making your 3 chain loops again, and we need a total of 5. So 1, 2, 3, skip a stitch to the next stitch, a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip a stitch, and there's your 5th 3 chain loop completed. Just pull this out and show you. This is how it's looking. Now, what will happen is you will do your clusters. If you just rewind the video, and you're going to work the rows again exactly the same way. All I've done here after the popcorn stitch row is show you how to get back up to here, and you just continue with this all the way, repeating from here all the way through to here for however long you would like your length of lace edging. Okay, so in a moment I will show you how to do the heading. So this is how the lace heading will look. If you notice here, we've got our popcorn stitches, the clusters and the little spaces, but here you have some more little clusters, chains, and this little heading here. So this involves another 3 rows working down the side of the little shells, or whatever you want to call them. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll actually undo this and meet you back here, and then we're going to start working to do the heading. I thought I might as well let you watch me unwind it, or yeah, so and this is where we finished, or this is where you would finish with your final popcorn row. Okay, so for this very first section here that we're going to fill in, you chain 11. 1, 2, 3, and that will represent a double crochet. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we're going to do some double treble clusters, and to do that, yarn over 3 times and then skip this popcorn stitch and this space here. If you look to the end of this row just there, there's a little single crochet, or the top of that popcorn stitch. Insert your hook in there. Just show you one more time. Going in the end there with yarn over 3 times, popping our hook in there, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. It's a little bit fiddly, this first bit, and then pull through 2 again until you've just got the 2 left on your hook. Okay, yarn over 3 times again in the same space. Insert your hook, yarn over, and again work off 2 at a time. So you're working off total of, well, you're yarning over and pulling through 2 3 times, and again yarn over 3 times into the same space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, whoops, I'll do that one again. So 1 2 3, into the same space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we've done 3. Leave these all on your hook, yarn over 3 times, secure them with your finger, and then follow it down past this cluster and this space and here, and in this little space just there, nestled over to the left of where you started your 10 chains and your single crochet ring, insert your hook and do another 3 double treble cluster, but not completing it. Sorry, it's not in focus. And one more. You'll probably find, if you're not too familiar with this stitch, that you'll need to rewind and go over it a few times. Okay, so you've now got 7 loops in total on your hook. Next, we're going to skip 2 loops and do another double treble cluster. So skip 1 loop, 2 loops, and go into that 3rd loop and do another 3. I should call them incomplete double trebles, that's one way of explaining it. Yarn over 3 times, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through 2. 1, pulling through 2 3 times, because you yarned over 3 times. 1 2 3, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. Oh, I'm just trying not to have to do the whole thing again. Let me see if I can catch it. No, it's got the better of me. Never mind. 1 2 3, and yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I think this is the most tricky part of the whole thing. And now you'll have 3 6 9 10 loops on your hook. and we need to do 1 yarn over and pull through all of those loops on the hook, just like that. Okay, and then do a little stitch just there to secure them. We need to do a total of 8 chains now. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just going to pop it down so you can see, and I can also just recheck the pattern. There we go. That's how it's looking. I think it's such a pretty way to join. Right, the heading, 8 chain, skip a loop, double crochet in the next loop. Right, so we need to skip another loop now and double crochet in the next loop. So skipping a loop, double crochet in that loop. And a double crochet is just yarn over once and pull through, and that's a treble in the UK. And next we do chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the next loop, chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and then a double crochet. The pattern says to do a double crochet in the tip of this popcorn stitch. So if you have a little look, we can see that the tip of it is just here. So just insert our hook as best we can into the tip of that popcorn stitch. If it will go, no. When you're on camera, you can guarantee. Let's see if it will go in focus. There we go. As I said before, make the loop or the space a little wider. Push your hook through and then you'll be able to get your loop through. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've finally got there. And that has now done one of the rows of how you join these 2 little parts of the lace edging. Now we need to repeat this. Now what I did before was I repeated 11 chains like it said, but because we have got a double crochet here, it actually was too many chains, so I just do a total of 9 chains, I think, down here, or even 8 would be sufficient. 8 on one side and 8 on the other. So let's go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now the double treble clusters. You need 3, so in 2. It's fine if you go in there if that's easier. It does say in the pattern into the single crochet, which is actually there, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you have 2 loops on the hook. And again, yarn over 3 times, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and we need to pull through another 2 there. Now we need 1 more, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and now we have 4. And next what we're going to do is exactly the same as we did here. We're going to repeat into this loop, the little treble, double treble cluster, and into this loop up here. So I will stay with you because this is tricky. Yarn over 3 times into that very first space there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, again, yarn over 3 times, work them off 2 at a time, total of 3 times. There we go. And then we need to skip 2 loops, 1, 2, yarn over 3 times into that loop, work off 2 at a time, yarn over 3 times again, oops, and then the final one. Two, 3, and here we have a little stitch just crossed over there. That's fine. And then you just yarn over and pull through all the stitches. If you struggle to pull them through, you can just do a couple at a time and just ease them over like this. And then again, you need to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Skip a loop, double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in that last loop, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet in the tip of the popcorn stitch. Okay, so there we are now. We've just completed our first row of the heading strip for this little lace piece of work. Sorry it's not going in focus so easily this time. There we go. Right, so I shall see you in a few secs. Okay, so now we're going to do a chain 1 and turn and do 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3 in this space, 3 in the next space, 1, 2, 3, 5 in this next space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't worry about where you actually pop them in this space because we can move those across the chain later. Then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in this next space here, 5 single crochets again, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. That's how it looks. Okay, in the next 2 spaces we're going to do 3 single crochets and repeat what we've just done. 3, oops, there we go, and 1, 2, 3, and again in each of these we're going to do 5 single crochets, but across almost like a little bridge we're going to do 5 chains. So in here 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 single crochets in this next space, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And now we've reached this end of our work. I think we single crochet in the last, yes we do, in there. Sorry about the focus. Right, and that's how it's looking. This is actually the back of the work. And then we're going to turn. Sorry, actually before you turn, just chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That will represent a double crochet and 1 chain. Then turn your work and do skip a stitch. Remember that chain represents a single, well, that's a stitch here that you've worked into theoretically with the chains, the turning chains. Skip a stitch into the next stitch, a double crochet, a treble in the UK terminology, chain 1, skip a stitch into the next stitch, a double crochet, chain 1, and you do this all the way across. If you look here, chain 1, now you're coming to the row of chains here. If you just turn it with your finger and thumb, you can get the chains to face you, and then it's easier. Kind of like roll them between your fingers. Then chain 1, skip, and then into the next one. Try to go under 2 loops, a double crochet. So all the way across it's chain 1, some green yarn, and then in we go, all the way across. I didn't go under 2 there, so we need to go under 2. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of this row, skipping 1 and double crochet and chain 1. So there's the completed finishing or heading chains, and you just adjust these if needed, these little stitches over the longer chains, lengths of chains, and give it a little steam, little press and it's looking really pretty. Okay, so very quickly coming back to the 5 ways to well-being. Here they are. Let's just zoom out. And if you incorporate these into your day-to-day life, then